Oh, my God. Ready? Good afternoon. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Community Development Regulatory Services Committee. Today I've been joined by council members Kano, Quincy, Fry, Reich, and Warsami, which is a full complement of committee. We have a number of items on the consent agenda. They are items 12 through 23. Are there any items anyone would like to pull off of the consent agenda? Items 12 through 23. Seeing none, I'll move the entire consent agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those items have been approved. If you were here for any of those items, thank you for being here today. And we will then move on to the rest of our agenda, starting with item number 1, which is the Commons at Penn. Ms. Glasper, welcome.
Madam Chair, thank you. Madam Chair, committee members, I am before you today recommending approval of a resolution awarding up to $5.6 million in tax-exempt multifamily housing revenue bonds for the Commons at Penn mixed-use affordable housing project. The project is proposed to be located at the southwest corner of Penn Avenue North and Golden Valley Road and consists of 2 city-owned parcels and 3 properties currently owned by the developer. The project being proposed by Building Blocks nonprofit will be a 4-story mixed-use building with 45 units of rental housing affordable to households at or below 50% MMI. The project will also include 4,500 square feet of community services space to be occupied by Building Blocks offices and programming space and North Point Health and Wellness Center. There will also be resident amenities, public pedestrian scale improvements, green space, a tot lot, underground parking, native landscape elements, attractive facade elements as well. The total development costs are just under $10.7 million, and if we are successful with this current financing request, the project will be fully funded. Sources include a $1 million grant from LCDA, just over $1.5 million from Minnesota Housing, just under $800,000 from Hennepin County through AHIF, IRF, and TOD, a $22,500 investigation grant from Met Council TBRA, and over $1 million from the city's Affordable Housing Trust Fund. The attached project data worksheet includes details on the project financing structure. Building Blocks has requested an issuance of up to $5.6 million in housing revenue bonds from the city's 2012 entitlement allocation. The issue would be bifurcated into a Series A of approximately $1.6 million, structured as the project's permanent debt, and a Series B at approximately $4 million, structured as interim construction financing that would be replaced with tax credit equity. The use of these bonds automatically includes the availability of 4% low-income housing tax credits, which are expected to generate more than $3.5 million in tax credit equity. The project has leveraged more than $5 million in non-local funding sources, representing approximately 51% of the total development cost. Public funds account for approximately 49% of the total development cost. The developer and the project owner are here today and would be happy to entertain any questions you might have.
Are there questions for Ms. Glasper? I'm just interested in, we're using our 2012 allocation still of housing revenue bonds? That's what I heard you say.
Are we?
Mr. Butler, the report talks about bonds that are carried over from 13, but I heard Ms. Glasper say 2012, so I'm just wondering if, I would assume we're done with
That's
that.
what the report
but
says.
I heard you say 2012.
Did I? I apologize.
Someone's listening.
I was absolutely wrong.
So it's part of our 13 entitlement?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
I
so we're not
apologize.
worrying about
No, we are
past
not.
allocations.
I
Okay,
apologize.
great. Thank you. Are there any other questions for Ms. Glasper? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing. Thank you for your report on item number 1, which is final approval of up to $5.6 million in tax-exempt multifamily housing entitlement revenue bonds. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Reich.
Madam Chair, I happily approve and move this item.
Item number 1 has been moved for approval. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved, and then we'll take the adjoining item to item number 1 next. Ms. Glasper?
Thank you. I'm before you again today, seeking the final necessary approval related to the Commons at Penn mixed-use project, the authorization to sell city-owned land, and the authorization to enter into a redevelopment contract and related documents to ensure successful redevelopment of the property. Building Blocks is seeking to purchase the city-owned properties at 1823 Penn Avenue North and 2201 Golden Valley Road for the price of $73,880. The city properties would be assembled with the developer's properties at 2213, 2217, and 2221 Golden Valley Road for the purposes of the Commons at Penn Affordable Housing Project. The city purchased 1823 Penn in October of 1979 for $25,000. We purchased 2201 Golden Valley Road in July of 1980 for $36,000. Both properties were acquired under the Vacant Housing Recycling Program, and in addition to these acquisition costs, the city has also incurred related costs to the demolition of the structures that occupied the properties and related property maintenance costs. Building Blocks nonprofit has submitted an acceptable offer to purchase along with their overall funding application. Northside Residents Redevelopment Council has had an opportunity to review and comment on the project, and we are hopeful to close the project by the end of August, begin construction shortly thereafter, and looking forward to project completion in the fall of 2015.
Are there any questions for Ms. Glasper on this land sale? Seeing none, thank you for your report. We'll open the public hearing on item number 2, which is a land sale of 2201 Golden Valley Road and 1823 Penn Avenue North. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Cano.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I move to approve this sale.
Item number 2 has been moved for approval. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll then move on to our land sale on item number 3. Ms. Shoquist, welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair, council members. I'm here before you today to request your approval of the sale of 3735 22nd Avenue South to Accent Homes. This is in the Standish neighborhood. The developer proposes to build a 2-story home with 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, with a full basement featuring 1,900 square feet of finished living space with a 2-car detached garage that they will market for owner occupancy at an asking price of $350,000.
Wow, that's a lot.
They're beautiful homes.
Are there any questions for Ms. Shoquist? Seeing none, thank you for your report. We'll open the public hearing on item number 3, which is a land sale of 3735 22nd Avenue South. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Quincy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move approval of this item.
Approval of item number 3 has been moved. Comments, questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll move on to item number 4. That is a land sale at 655 Tyler Street Northeast. Mr. Pettiford, welcome.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, committee members. We have received a offer to purchase 655 Taylor Street Northeast, popular parcel. We had 3 offers. The asking price for the parcel was $14,500. The actual offer that we're recommending, they offered $15,000, and again, it's Accent Homes. The other 2 proposals, Tony Sorensen was before, or his proposal was before the committee last cycle. He was approved, and he proposed to be an owner-occupant buyer. That's been satisfied, so he's not up for consideration here. And Powerline LLC submitted an offer of $14,500, and there's been some concern or confusion over exactly who they are as an entity, so we're not recommending them. Accent Homes proposes to build a 1,900 square foot single family with 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, a full basement, and a double car garage. The developer already has an owner-occupant buyer. The Beltrami neighborhood and staff concurred that that was the best proposal, and therefore it's the one that we're recommending.
What's the house going to sell for?
In the $300,000 range.
It's the same exact house as the one in the last
It
report.
is, and he's got one going up at 3216 30th, I believe that's right around 330. The other ones that he's built similarly, 1235 Monroe, I think, sold for 330 as well. So they've been in the 330 range.
That's great.
Yes, and they're great houses.
Other questions for Mr. Pettiford? Seeing none, thank you for your report. We'll open up the land sale on a public hearing on the land sale on item number 4 at 655 Tyler Street Northeast. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Fry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of this item.
Approval has been moved. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll move on to item number 5. Ms. Flack, welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Before you today to sell a excess piece of street right-of-way to DC Group. I was last before you in April when we were doing a tax increment financing plan for them. What happened was, during their title review process, they discovered that railroad right-of-way that they thought were purchasing from the railroad was in fact street right-of-way owned by the city of Minneapolis. So we have been working with them to clarify this and get this sold to them. It will be part of their overall development, and we recommend approval. It's 954 square feet, and the appraisal came in at 4,400, and that's what they're willing to do.
Great. Are there any questions on item number 5? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing on item number 5, which is a land sale of excess street right-of-way adjacent to 1977 West River North. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Fry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of this item.
Approval of item number 5 has been moved. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. Thank you,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Flack. We'll then move on to item number 6, the Bauhaus Brew Labs. Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have an application by Bauhaus Labs. They are located at 1315 Tyler Street Northeast, and they are seeking a rental hall license, they're seeking an on-sale liquor license, tap room, Class B, and a malt liquor growler license. Their hours of operation for this tap room, which I believe will be our 9th brewery tap room for the city of Minneapolis, they will close at 11 p.m. Monday through Sunday. They will have growler sales similar to off-sale liquor stores, which ends at 10 p.m. 6 days a week. The principal owners are Matthew Schwant and Lydia Haynes, and there are 39 other small investor members of this group. The manager will be Matthew Schwant, and he's president and head brewer. He is also a licensed attorney familiar with alcohol beverage regulations. The entire brewing facility consists of about 9,000 square feet on the first floor. The tap room portion is about 2,000 square feet, and they will have seating for 100 people at tables and benches and a bar area for 16. The outdoor patio will seat about 64 people. This is located in a standalone building in the center of an industrial complex and is not directly adjacent to any residential properties. A public hearing is required for this application, and we did mail notices to all property owners and residents within 600 feet. We also notified the Northeast Park Neighborhood Association and the Northeast Minneapolis Chamber of Commerce. From that notification, we received no responses for or against. This application meets all of our requirements, and staff is recommending approval.
Are there any questions for Mr. Wilson on his report? Seeing none, this is a public hearing on item number 6, which is the Bauhaus Brew Pub at 1315 Tyler Street Northeast. This is an application for an on-sale liquor tap room. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Reich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of this item, and we'll speak to it if I may.
You may.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We look forward to this operation. The facility that they've put together is quite fantastic, and I should note that nothing against ales, but they will provide a unique expertise to the lager style, which is very welcome to the Brew District. So thank you, and I move approval.
On Councilmember Reich's motion to approve, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll move on to item number 7. Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Solar Arts Building, AL Tigers LLC, is seeking a rental hall license at 711 15th Avenue Northeast. This rental hall will be open the hours that are allowed in that zoning district, which is to 10 p.m. during the week and to 11 p.m. on the weekends. This application had significant zoning review, and they did receive a zoning variance to vary the parking, and they will be creating a parking lot on this site upon approval of these licenses. A public hearing is required for this application, and we notified all property owners within 300 feet of the premises. We notified the Logan Park Neighborhood Association and the Northeast Minneapolis Chamber of Commerce. We did receive 10 responses from this notification. 7 were in support of the application, and 3 were opposed, almost unanimously opposed because of concerns about parking. Upon completion of their new parking lot, they will meet all parking requirements and all other requirements, and staff is recommending approval.
Are there any questions for Mr. Wilson on item number 7? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing on item number 7, which is an application for a rental hall license for the Solar Arts Building. I have 2 people who have signed in. I would invite you to come up and state your name and address for the record, and anyone else who's here who'd like to speak to this issue is invited to do the same. Now.
Madam and council members, I'm Dwayne Arns, and I am an owner of the Solar Arts Building. And I want to say that I'm very proud of the project that we put together, and I think Minneapolis should be very proud of the project that we put together. We've worked with the planning for, it's coming on pretty close to 2 years now. And we've tried to dot all the I's and cross all the T's, and worked as hard as we can to put a very positive project here in the neighborhood in what used to be a vacant warehouse building. Before we purchased this building and the duplex full of mold that we wanted to turn into parking, there was, within 3 years, there was 46 phone calls to the police in these properties. And last time I checked, a few months back, we had 0 phone calls to the police in the 2 years that we've been open, with a microbrewery on the first floor, artists on the second floor, and we're hoping to do a lot of fun neighborhood events or any kind of events on the third floor. We have a policy and a mission to open up our space at the third floor for free to the local nonprofits, and through special use permits. We've had some fundraisers for the food shelf up there and for the Minnesota Bike Association, and we have been working with Waite Park Elementary School. They have a fundraiser for them up there, and so we like to be the center of the neighborhood, and I think that we are a very big asset to the neighborhood, and thank you to the city for actually working with us to put a very positive project together. So thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Is there anyone else here who'd like to comment on item number 7? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Reich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Move approval and wish to speak to the matter.
Please do.
Thank you. As the presenter, Mr. Ahrens, indicated, I do look at this as a net positive for the community on many levels. And to the extent that there are still residual concerns about this expansion of operations, I would say you have a really good partner, a forthright partner, to make any accommodations to those concerns. And I know there's a commitment, a personal commitment to do that. So I move this forward without hesitation.
On the motion to approve Councilmember Reich's recommendation, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll then move on to item number 8. Mr. Wilson. Oh, no, Ms. Roberts. Thank you.
Council Chair Goodman, council members, I'm Linda Roberts, Assistant Manager in Business Licensing. The amendment that is before you will allow businesses to request a waiver for additional permits beyond 12 days that are allowed for special events. Staff anticipate that these special events may have a statewide impact, like perhaps the Vikings and the Gophers playing in the same location, or perhaps the Lynx winning another championship. At this time, no business has come close to exceeding the number allowed of days allowed. Most people get up to about 8 permits, but no one's gotten close to the 12. And this could be because most times expansions happen in the summer, and our Minnesota months only allow so many summer months for that. We did work with the industry. The industry approached us and the council member that was the author, and they are happy with the amendment. We have received no feedback in the positive or negative on this, and we are recommending approval. I'm here for questions.
Are there any questions for Ms. Roberts on item number 8? Seeing none, thank you for your report. We'll open the public hearing on item number 8, which is amending the ordinance to allow a waiver for special events on the maximum number of temporary expansions per year currently allowed for on-sale liquor, wine, and beer. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
Josh Nino from Buffalo Wild Wings on University Avenue, 2001. I just wanted to speak on how great this would be for that area. You know, being able to create a more family-friendly atmosphere. You know, we've been doing the Gophers events for a couple of years now without any incidents at all. Plus, it's just going to give fans another option and another reason to get down there even earlier. Also, too, it's just not just a positive for, you know, Buffalo Wild Wings, as I said. It's for the community. You know, it's visiting campus. It's getting people used to that area and being able to navigate down there instead of being scared to go to one of these events. And also, too, I mean, to make it safe, we do have police presence at all times, 3 hours before the game and then after the game, just to guarantee, you know, the safety of the fans. And also, with the responsible alcohol service, all of our servers are responsible alcohol service responsible, so they know how to promote that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Is there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Frye.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move approval of this item.
Approval of item number 8 has been moved. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll move on to item number 9. Ms. Roberts, welcome.
Thank you again. This amendment would allow additional days for temporary parking lots near the TCF Bank Stadium. The amendment requests that the current limit of 15 days be increased to 24 days. It also allows for a waiver if there are additional days needed for special events. We did share this with the industry, and we did receive 2 positive feedback responses and no responses to the negative. I'm available for questions.
Are there any questions for Ms. Roberts on item number 9? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing on item number 9, which is an expansion of the temporary parking lot use in the university area. Is there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Frye.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll move approval of item number 9.
Item number 9 has been moved for approval. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll now move into our quasi-judicial portion of the public hearings. Councilmember Frye.
Thank you, Chair Goodman. We have 2 items on the agenda for today. The first is a rental dwelling license. It's a recommendation to revoke. It's at 2643 Lindell Avenue North. The owner is Abdirazak Abdinor, and I believe Ms. Dowling is here to give us the rundown.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, committee members. The property involved in this action is 2643 Lindale Avenue North. This is a residential single-family dwelling. Abdirazak Abdumar is listed as the owner of record and obtained a license to operate this property as a rental business in November 2009, which identified Abdulaziz Sheikh as the contact person of record, but was later changed to I.N. Abdumar. The rental license was renewed on March 18, 2014. On December 5, 2012, an inspection was conducted, which resulted in a written order being issued, which identified numerous exterior and interior violations, giving the owner until January 4, 2013 to make the necessary repairs. Several inspections were conducted from January 2013 to October 2013, which resulted in 4 administrative citations being issued, totaling $3,750. The citations were not paid or appealed and remain outstanding. On October 4, 2013, a second inspection was conducted, which resulted in a written order being issued advising the owner to obtain a valid rental license. The compliance date established on the order was November 4, 2013. On October 4, 2013, an immediate $500 citation was issued, which was not paid or appealed and remains outstanding. This property was also placarded with a notice of unlawful occupancy for the expired rental license. The unpaid administrative citations are in violation of Licensing Standard 11 of Minneapolis Code 244.1910, 11A. On March 28, 2014, a notice of director's determination of noncompliance was sent to the owner and property manager. They were given 10 days to come into compliance by paying the pending assessments totaling $3,850 for the 2014 levy year. On April 17, 2014, a notice of revocation was sent to the owner and property manager via U.S. and certified mail. The notice was returned to the city as unclaimed and unable to forward. The notice was also posted on the dwelling. The owner and the property manager were given 15 days to appeal this matter, which no appeal was received. At this time, the city is requesting revocation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Dowling. Do we have any questions for Ms. Dowling? Seeing none, I will very quickly read the introductory statement. This is a quasi-judicial license hearing for which this committee is limited by law to hearing argument from the property owner or the owner's representative, but is prohibited from considering any further evidence or taking any further testimony. This means that you are required to limit your comments to arguments specifically addressing the evidence or testimony introduced before the hearing officer, which is part of the record that is already before us. You may not offer and we may not consider any new or additional evidence based solely on the existing record and the arguments that the parties make today. The City Council may affirm, modify, or reverse the recommendation that is before us. In this particular instance, it is my understanding that there really is not much of a record before us. However, notwithstanding that fact, I will invite the owner and or the owner's representative, this is for Mr. Abdirazak Abdinor, if they have any further comments. Hello. Please state your name and address for the record.
Ayan Abdinur, and I'm Abdurazak's sister. Hi, everybody. I'm really nervous, so I've never did anything like that. So the property was under management with Abdul Aziz Sheikh, and now I am taking over the property since August this year. There was a lot of violations before then, and I just get to know that. So my brother was out of the country. He's a government employee, so he's been going out and out of the country. And when I found out all the violations and stuff that was going on, I took over and I'm taking care of all of it. So for one of the things that I requested when I came in to the taking over the property, I said it's going to be family living in there, so I don't even need a rental license. I've been coming to the city hall several times and didn't have anybody really to direct me to the right way. They told me to renew my license, which, I said I need a homestead, it's a relative homestead. I applied for the relative homestead. I also, renew the license and the request of my inspector in order for me to actually live in the house. I don't need a rental license, and I've been working on to putting my name as the owner for the property. So I don't.
Mr. Fussy, can you clarify exactly how this would work if they're not presently using the unit or the house as for rental income? I'm sorry, is it your claim that you're presently using the space for your family?
Yes, and I'm living in the house.
And you're living in the house, but it's owned by your brother?
Yes.
Okay, how does that work?
Mr. Vice Chair and committee members, certainly there's rules regarding eligibility for relative homestead. I think Ms. Dowling may have some more information on that. I don't want to state anything incorrectly, but certainly I'm sure staff could fill her in with regard to those rules. I can't say for sure whether she would be eligible for the relative homestead. However, that would be immaterial to the violations that are present for this consideration before the council at this point.
Chair Goodman.
Thank you, Councilmember Fry. We should move ahead and revoke the rental license. If they want to live in the house as a family-owned and operated home, that's fine. But the issue in front of us is not whether or not the applicant owns it or the family member lives there, but whether or not they can operate a business as a rental property. And I don't have, Ms. Dowling, were any of the fees and fines even paid?
Madam Chair, committee members, no, they have not been paid.
So we're still in a situation with thousands of dollars of unpaid fines. A rental license is a privilege. It is a business. We should be revoking the rental license. Nothing I've heard in this testimony. She doesn't even want a rental license. She's essentially saying she wants to have it as homesteaded, and if she can get a homestead permission, great. But we shouldn't be allowing any additional rental license issues here. There's no question there's outstanding fines. I don't know, Mr. Fusi, how do we go back and collect those? Is it assessed onto the property?
That's correct. They have, I think, already been assessed to the property in their delinquent assessments.
Okay.
And I've been trying to appeal those violations since I came in, like, and the person that was managing the property was not doing basically their job. And then when I came there, and I fixed everything that we get the violations for, and I wanted to appeal also with all of that. I'm working on appealing to those, because I think there's $11,000 that was already assessed, and another $1,000 that that's pending. So like I don't know how that's also gonna.
So, just to be clear for the record, though, you and Mr. Abdenor, you have no interest whatsoever in using this property to get money, in other words, renting it?
And renting, no, but I requested that I don't want the license before, but now that I don't want a negative record on my thing, I don't want to be revoked. I want to just remove the way that I want it. Early when I asked and just said, I don't know, like, I don't know if that is going to be negative on my record,
So there are outstanding fines. I believe it's $3,850 that are outstanding. The opportunity to appeal is over. Those still need to be paid out whether or not you're using the property as a rental dwelling. What I will do is we'll give you until, or I would move to give you until tomorrow to pay those remaining fines. However, it looks like you're using the property as a homestead anyway.
Yes, and the $3,000, I can't come up with it just tomorrow. And I wanted to appeal that to begin with.
Okay, there's really, especially since there's no facts that we can really review from the previous record, since nobody showed up, there's not a lot we can do with this hearing. But we certainly welcome you to continue living in the home, not as a rental dwelling. I would move that we revoke, according with staff recommendation. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. The following item is item number 11, rental dwelling license. The recommendation is, I believe, is to revoke. It's for 4127 Colfax Avenue North. The owner is William Davidson with Juanita Investments, LLC, and I believe Ms. Dowling will also be presenting. Ms. Dowling.
Hello, thank you again. The property involved in this action is 4127 Colfax Avenue North. This is a residential 2-unit dwelling. Juanita Investments, LLC is the owner of record and obtained a license to operate the property as a business in August 2011, which identified Ishmael Israel as the contact person of record. In November 2013, the rental license was updated to show William Davidson, who is the representative of Juanita Investments, as the contact person. On January 23rd, 2012, an inspection was conducted, which resulted in 2 written orders being issued, which identified numerous interior and exterior violations. The compliance date established on the order for the interior work was February 23rd, 2012, and the compliance date established on the order for the exterior work was June 1st, 2012. On October 22nd, 2013, an inspection was conducted, which resulted in a 3rd written order being issued for failure to have a valid rental license, as the current license had expired. The compliance date established on the order was November 19, 2013. On November 25th, 2013, the dwelling was placarded with an unlawful occupancy notice, advising the property must be vacated by January 1st, 2014. On November 26, 2013, the rental license was paid and the contract was updated to reflect Juanita Investments, LLC, and William Davidson as the applicant and contact person of record. Numerous re-inspections occurred between February 2012 and November 2013, resulting in 4 administrative citations being issued, totaling $2,250. The citations were not paid or appealed and remain outstanding. The unpaid administrative citations are in violation of Licensing Standard 11 of Minneapolis Code 244.1910-11A. On February 7, 2014, a notice of director's determination of non-compliance was sent to the owner. The owner was given 10 days to come into compliance by paying the pending assessments due and owing of $2,475. On March 31st, 2014, a notice of revocation was sent to the owner via certified and U.S. mail. It was also posted on the dwelling. The owner was given 15 days to appeal, and no appeal was received. At this time, the city is seeking revocation of this license, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Ms. Dowling? Seeing none, the same introductory statement that I read before applies, which is that no additional or new evidence can be submitted. So there's really not a lot we can talk about here. But is the owner, William Davidson Juanita, here or a representative on their behalf today? Is an owner or the representative here? Is an owner or the representative here? Seeing none, and given that there's not a whole lot we can do anyway, since there's no record on the appeal, I would move that we adopt the staff recommendation, which is to revoke the rental dwelling license for 4127 Colfax Avenue North. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Chair Goodman.
So, thank you, Councilmember Fry. The only remaining agenda items are items 24 and 25, and I have been assured that these items will be brought forward at the next meeting, which is July 8th. So these are the Transportation Network Company ordinance as well as the Green Deeds Construction Pilot Project, which will both be in front of us on July 8th. Are there any comments or questions about anything else? Seeing nothing, we are adjourned.